Good afternoon and welcome to Match of the Day, where we take our first look at three clubs who would hope to challenge for the First Division title this season, and a fourth who could at least dream about it. Arsenal play Liverpool and Ipswich Coventry.
Today's main news concerns the dramatic increase in sendings off and the damaging effect they have on the game. Personalities in the limelight: England keeper Joe Corrigan, who spent the night in hospital, Middlesbrough manager Bobby Murdoch, who seems to have troubles at Ayresome Park, and Swedish international keeper Jan Moller, who could be on his way to Manchester United.
Well, we should be continuing to emphasise special aspects of skill in the matches coming up, for the first of which we go to Highbury, where Arsenal play Liverpool, last season's champions. Both teams have strengthened their squads for this season's challenges. Let's see what we think of their prospects. Your commentator at Highbury, Barry Davis.
David O'Leary leads out Arsenal, looking to his team to practice what he's been preaching. The players must accept the responsibility for entertainment. And the side he leads includes the two close season signings, Lee Chapman and Tony Woodcock. But Adam Sunderland is on the injured list, and when O'Leary himself comes back after hurting an ankle, Kenny Sanson is out after cracking ribs on Tuesday evening. Highbury has not been the happiest hunting ground for the perennial champions from Liverpool. They've only won here twice since they came into the big time, and that was 20 years ago. And actually, it's 4 years since they last won in London in a league match. But with the exception of Alan Hansen, all the first team squad is available, and David Hodgson, their latest capture for Middlesbrough, plays. Craig Johnston, who preceded him from there, is on the bench. The referee this afternoon is John Martin of Alton in Hampshire. Real cricketing weather, and it will be Arsenal to kick off attacking from our left. And the first stumble of the afternoon came from Graham Ricks. John Devine in the side in the absence of Sansom. And here's Lee Chapman. He may just have used his arm to control the ball. Indeed, the referee says that he did. Bruce Grobbelaar yet to concede a goal in competitive matches. Leads across the Charity Shield. Graham Souness. Chris White had to change his mind because Wood was marked. And here's Ian Rush. It was Hollins who got a rather important foot in the way. Well challenge by Stuart Robson, which earns the first rebuke. Souness, Phil Neal, Rush, it's a little bit crowded. Souness, Hodgson, wasn't a particularly good header at the end from Kenny Dalglish. He was looking for somebody to come in on the far post, but he might have had an easier job of putting it in himself. Won by Chapman. There's an advantage of about a couple of inches on Mark Lawrenson. Woodcock. Dalglish. Space for Alan Kennedy. In the shadow of the stand. Rush. Playing by Wood. Took a flick at it. Hollins. And Chapman has got away from Phil Thompson. And fails to seize the opportunity. Clear-cut opportunity it was too. To score his first goal for Arsenal. And Thompson thought he was going to get a whistle and didn't, and Chapman was in on Grobbelaar, who saved well with his feet. Really, the centre-forward never set himself and never looked confident to put the chance away. Ball had gone out before Rush picked at it. Don Howe, the Arsenal coach, sunglasses, showing what sort of afternoon we have. Terry Neal, the manager, to his left. glasses obviously not doing their job either. Souness. Into space for Alan Kennedy. Neil. Souness. Lawrenson. Recovered well. But it was close. The applause is for Stuart Robson. O'Leary, watching the bounce carefully. It was a little bit wayward. Oh, that's lovely. Chapman. Brooks will have to be more determined than that against Souness. Whelan. That's lovely. Hodgson. Souness. Understanding between White and Wood. Robson. Talbot going forward. Chapman in the inside right position, coming wide. And is offside. Whelan. Into the space. Hodgson. Rush far side, Lee to arrive late. Whelan. Neil. Struck that with great authority and great power. Had the time to do so. George Wood forward, took the sting out of it and was able to collect. O'Leary. Reach has gone further forward, and Talbot first of all lets him go and then thinks about coming back to cover him, and here is Dalglish. And Talbot was almost too late. A good ball down the middle. Talbot just got up alongside, maybe enough to put Dalglish off his finish. Robson. Talbot. On his right side, Woodcock forward. Davis. Neil. Kennedy. And the eyes had it. Instinctive reaction, and Chapman puts it wide. A mistake initially by Phil Thompson, which gave Woodcock the chance, but his shot was too central. Grevillard, to his credit, was able to parry. Had it have been put either side of him, I doubt if he'd had the opportunity. And then when the ball came to Chapman, he screwed it wide. Clear opportunities of the half come to the home side. White. enjoyed the demise of Souness. Lawrenson was halfway down the 100 metres while Chapman was still on the blocks. Whelan. How close the ball is to Whelan's foot. Rush. Angle against him. Oh, and it's turned in beautifully by David Hodgson, who celebrates his first goal for his new club. The end of a move inspired by little Whelan. The angle against Rush as he was pushed wide. He was able to pull the ball back, and Hodgson, rather quicker than Arsenal defenders, tapped it in. So Liverpool with the lead, with 4 minutes of the half remaining. Corbett. He's looking rather bigger than his actual frame. Cook. Davis. Devine. Plenty in the middle, not for the first time. Devine, having got himself into a position to make a cross, doesn't make a good one. Check of the watch is enough for the referee. We reach half-time with something of a contradiction. Arsenal having had more of the opportunities, but it will surprise no neutral in the ground that it's Liverpool who go in with the half-time lead. Observers from the Soviet Union in the stand from Moscow Spartak, here to look at Arsenal before their meeting in the Cup Winners' Cup. A more familiar face there in the centre. Just beneath the hat, that of Sir Stanley Rouse, former president of FIFA, and still indeed honorary president. And Liverpool, with a 1-0 lead, get the second half underway. Only previous victories on this ground since they came up to the First Division were in seasons 65-66 and 73-74. Liverpool won away from home 12 times last season, in winning the title yet again. Chapman, Woodcock, Talbot, it was covered. Takes. He gets good distance on his kicks. Play by Lee. Dalglish decided against playing it through first time. Kennedy. Rush. Corner. On the goal line again, comes away. Souness. Whelan. Caught then by Robson. Here's Woodcock. Lawrenson. Claimed by Devine after good spade work by Woodcock. Davis! Almost nonchalantly, Grobbelaar claimed with some comfort, and another opportunity is gone. He's enjoying his afternoon. Talbot. Souness forcing him back. O'Leary. Beautiful handball against Rush, but it's not been given. Dalglish. A positive ball by Souness to Hudson. He could so easily have got the touch, and Whelan gets up to look to see if he's got anything out of the referee, but he hasn't. Hollins. We're all then more in hope than expectation from the Arsenal faithful. They've seen it all before. Davis. Rather white. This is Souness. Neil. Chapman coming to get it. Arsenal need him further forward than that. Ricks has gone forward in the inside right position. Robson out on the right touchline, number 7. And his first touch took the ball back 7 or 8 yards. White. Liverpool covering the spaces. Woodcock. Davis, Robson and Chapman waiting. Ricks going to come inside Lee. Which he does. Davis took it nicely. Devine. Robson. Chapman. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, neither would enjoy looking at that again. Robson was the first to stab and missed. Chapman made contact, but that's all that can be said. White. Talbot. Woodcock. Whelan, the quicker. He didn't have the ball, of course. Sammy Lee gets it as a competitor. Now, can he get away? No, he can't. And he was looking for the foul instead of showing more determination to hold on to the ball. His rush. Hollins came across. Minutes of the match left. Still poised with only 1 goal dividing the teams. Arsenal in need of improvement, but they're to save themselves. Still a good header out. Souness. Kennedy runs through. Would have been a blinder. Lovely ball through by Souness. Kennedy was off on the run before it was played. Met it on the full, but too high. Ten minutes remaining. And Arsenal, who lost at Stoke a week ago, drew with Norwich on Tuesday, still behind to Liverpool. Woodcock. And in all conscience, one cannot see them pulling this one back. Handball by Devine. Here's Dalglish. Very, very well played by George Wood as Dalglish. Got very much more freedom than he should have been allowed. Good jump up by Wood as Dalglish tried to clear his head. And Hodgson. It's the second in a matter of seconds that Liverpool suddenly have had a man free in on Wood. Talbot, Ricks. Woodcock, nicely done. Chapman couldn't get there. Robson punched away by Grobbelaar. An instinctive reaction by the goalkeeper. He enjoyed it more than most. It could be just a two-fisted riposte. Chapman, Davis. And Grobbelaar flings himself at it. That the ball was destined for about row 15 on the north bank. Neil. Lee. Souness. Hodgson. Phil Neal. Oh, nicely taken. That's his second of the season. The other one was from the penalty spot. But he really enjoyed that because he curled it away from George Wood's right hand. And gets the congratulations all round. Phil Neal, who has been in the side for every match for 7 seasons, and now 3 games of this, scores a goal that he remembers for some time. Bob Paisley on his last visit here, in a league match at least, as manager of Liverpool, will certainly go away with the spoils. O'Leary. Hollins. Kennedy has gone on. It's too short for Sammy Lee. Woodcock. Devine. He's going to stop everything this afternoon. It was a nice height for the goalkeeper, who was moving across. Parry and then smother. Now playing what Mr. Martin has on his watch for the odd stoppage. Not have been too much. Both linesmen have signalled to him. And Grobbelaar ends in possession. Liverpool play the bogey. The referee goes off with a smile. The goals scored by David Hodgson in the 41st minute and by Phil Neal in the 83rd. And the second goal making clear the difference between the two teams, which otherwise might not have been so crystal clear. Arsenal 0, Liverpool 2.
Liverpool seemingly as powerful as ever. They've yet to concede a goal in their 4 matches, that's including the Charity Shield, and wouldn't appear to have too many problems. Whereas Arsenal, despite the best intentions, have yet to win a match. And I don't think they'll panic, as they've no reason to, because as far as I can see, they're fulfilling their promise to attack more and are creating chances, but for a variety of reasons, they're not converting them. The worst reason of all to miss chances is nervousness, and this was a chance, or a couple of them, that came later in the game. Devine crosses it. First of all, young Robson's in there and gets overexcited, and then Lee Chapman makes an awful mess, really, of the final chance. But that was when worry had taken over. But before that, they were doing very well. Lee Chapman, a player now that seemed to be unpopular already at Highbury, but people might look at the good things he's done. There's a chance that he created all on his own off a high ball, turned it round, and I don't think he struck that badly, but Grobbler, give him credit, made a great save with his legs, having dived to the right but saved to the left with his legs. Now, a perfect chance appears to come up here. In fact, it's two chances. The first one falls to Tony Woodcock, and again, look who gets the header there. That's Chapman, winning the ball in the air. Thompson gives a bit of help there to Arsenal, I must say. But that shot on the volley was struck straight at Grobbler. In fact, it's now Chapman who makes the miss, but if he'd not screwed it wide of that yellow player, he would have hit him. So he went for the corner, and finally, obviously wasn't pleased with his performance, but I'd give him time yet. Well, our skill spot comes later, but now, still in the autumn sunshine, we go to Portman Road, where Ipswich played Coventry City. And under Bobby Ferguson, Ipswich have led twice so far this season, but have yet to be ahead at the final whistle. Your commentator is John Watson.
21-year-old Steve Whitten of Coventry is currently the First Division's most prolific scorer. 5 goals in the last 3 games of last season, on the mark in both league matches this time round, so his sequence is 7 in 5 games. And even Alan Brazil can't match that. His goal against Spurs on Tuesday means he's scored in 6 of the last 7 league games he's played. He got 28 altogether for Ipswich last season, and new manager Bobby Ferguson will be hoping to keep Brazil's feet firmly on the ground, where he once scored 5 in a match. With Russell Osman having recovered from a groin strain, Ipswich are unchanged. The departure of Arnold Muren to Manchester United means Steve McCall has moved into midfield, and Mick Mills has returned to left-back, where he starts his 17th season with the club, and Mick's future may well be in coaching and management. For Coventry, Les Seeley has got over a knee injury and returns in goal in place of 16-year-old Perry Suckling. At number 7, Peter Hormanchuk starts a league match for the first time in place of Martin Singleton. Curiously, Hormanchuk's league debut was as a substitute against Ipswich last January, and as he's a defensive player, number 2 Danny Thomas should have more freedom to push forward into a Coventry midfield, still without Steve Hunt, who's with New York Cosmos. And there's Ipswich Town's new grandstand, a cost of 1.4 million, very reasonable in these times. It will eventually give them 4,600 seats, of which 1,800 are in use already. Referee this afternoon is Mike James of Horsham. And away go Coventry in a smart red and white strip. Jerry Francis trying a speculative shot straight from the kickoff, and we have 2 former England captains on the field today. Jerry Francis, who captained England under Don Revie, and Mick Mills, who captained England during the World Cup. I say former, although Bobby Robson may well decide to keep Mick Mills in his squad when he announces the team for Denmark very shortly next week. Mills looks for Mariner. Gillespie across with him. And Walk is coming up here in a good position. Here's Gates! Gates, who scored at Brighton last Saturday, in a good position there. It's a good build-up. Paul Mariner finding John Walk. Gates in space. Burley again. Coventry had come streaming out. They've got to retreat a bit now. That's a fair ball too, from Roberts out of defence to a long striding Haitley, who got past Burley and brought a good save out of Paul Cooper. Swift, incisive break by Coventry. Haitley using his pace to go past George Burley, and Cooper forced to go quickly to his left. Was Dyson. Mariner. And now Brazil. And Burley. And Mariner to head it back in, no. McCall, though. And Burley coming through. He's been perhaps Ipswich's most dangerous attacker in the period so far, George Burley, finding room and time to get well forward on the right. Ipswich Town supporters have seen their team finish second in the Championship for the last 2 years, wondering if they can go one better under new management. Burley. Tyson. Cherry Francis so far involved more in his own half. Stabilising operation for Coventry here. And then the swift break when they can get one of their front runners released. That's what Francis is perhaps looking up to consider, but Ipswich marking well. Gillespie. Maybe a chance for McCall here to put Brazil away. And Brazil finds Walk, and Walk finds Mills, and there are plenty of Ipswich players in the area here. And it's McCall again. Tackle was by Thomas, corner. Now will the sustained spell of attacking pay off for Ipswich? Gates with the corner. And Butcher looking for a flick, looking for a shot. Good save by Seeley, and Walk is there. No, he's not. The ball over already. Terry Butcher cursing his luck, but it was a good save. John Walk was hovering in case the ball had come back off the bar, but it was turned over by the goalkeeper, who had reason to feel pleased with his reactions. This time a little bit of pushing on the near post by Mariner. Serious face of Dave Sexton. His team did well to beat Southampton in their opening game and then led in midweek against Swansea before being defeated 2-1. Again, Coventry tracking back well. This is McCall. Foreman shook in front of him. Mills coming the long way round to make space. Header out was by Gillespie. And here comes Osman for Ipswich. Mills. Brazil. And Burley at the far post, and a chance for Tyson, and headed away. Coventry had plenty of defenders in front of the goalkeeper, and my word, they needed them. Very good deep cross from Alan Brazil on the far side in the first place. Here's John Walk, and here's Mariner. And the first half coming to a lively finish, with Francis now for Coventry. Aitley. Oh, and a shot by Hormanshuk, which sent the ball out of the ground. Alan Brazil very tight over on that far side, but how well he did to float that ball to the far post. George Burley knocking it back, and there were chances there for Ipswich, but Coventry had numbers to support Seeley, and the important thing was they kept the ball out. The end of a comparatively quiet first half, in which the best goal attempt came from Terry Butcher with a good effort on the turn, which was well saved by Les Seeley. Ipswich will be hoping to find their true rhythm before they start their UEFA Cup campaign a week on Wednesday when they play Roma in Italy. And here comes Brazil. Indeed, manager Bobby Ferguson is off to watch Roma this weekend. Competition Ipswich won 2 seasons ago, the UEFA Cup. And indeed, they've been in Europe 9 years out of 10. Here's Franz Tyson to Steve McCall. And Mills. Tyson. Walk moving through the inside right position. There's Mills for Ipswich. Now McCall. Gates. Challenges by Thomas. Francis finding Thompson. Now Thomas again. Formanshuk. Jacobs. Nice flick by Thompson to Thomas. Whitten is coming in from the far side. Burley having to be quick, and Cooper also. The goalkeeper's throw, just picking up Eric Gates nicely. Got the rebound off Gillespie and found Brazil. And Brazil's shot blocked by Jacobs. Set up by Gates. And that's Haitley closing in on Butcher. Strong in possession is Alan Brazil. He just held off Thomas quite fairly there. This is Mariner. And that's a good ball to Burley. And Gates letting it go. Burley again. Mariner flicking it on. Gates trying to turn them. The sort of impetus here that Ipswich would be looking for at the start of the second half. There's Walk. And Mills. And a shot coming off Formanshuk. Mills doing enough to get it out to McCall, and here's Brazil. And Brazil, Seeley making a good save with his left leg. Blocking the angle well. Brazil twice denied early in the second half. But Ipswich come again. First shot blocked by a defender, the second by the goalkeeper. McCall to Mills. McCall still supporting the captain. Fair cross, John Walk coming in, away by Francis. Walk ducking away from it rather then. Here's Osman. Still they're queuing up as Burley gets the ball on the right, finds Mariner. Holding off Roberts, waiting for Osman to arrive. His cross. Jacobs with time. And now Butcher just got a foot to that to find Brazil. Oh, look at this. Alan Brazil in space. Straight at the goalkeeper from Alan Brazil, but well delivered to him down the touchline by Terry Butcher. There's Walk. And Mills. McCall with the cross. Mariner furthest over, but Burley knocking it back in. Jacobs. The play compressed into the Coventry City half, as it has been for much of the game. And a foul given against Jacobs for the tackle on Mills. Everybody, bar the Ipswich goalkeeper, now in an attacking position for them. Osman to take the kick. Mariners are coming on it from the far side. Dyson with the header away. McCall. Mills. Gates. Mills. Have to start again here. Osman. John Walk calling on the far side. Osman shot! Superbly turned over by Les Seeley. Fine effort from the Ipswich centre-half. Quickly taken corner to Burley. Foul by Butcher. Just wonder now if Coventry, having kept Ipswich at bay for so long, are going to become rather more ambitious at the other end of the field. Jacobs to take the free kick. Whitten. Thompson. Roberts, the left back, is well forward. Finds Gillespie. Francis. Thompson. But as it breaks down, a chance maybe for Ipswich to move into attack with Mariner. Most of the support was the other way. Gates can now find Tyson. Burley again well forward. Free waiting in the centre. Low in for Mariner! What a well-taken goal. Paul Mariner opens his league account for this season. And George Burley, who's played so well coming forward on the right, supplies the cross. It was well delivered, low into the near side of the penalty area, and Mariner made that finish look easy. But it was cool and it was accurate, and Bobby Ferguson shouts to his team, who take the lead here after 72 minutes. Mariner, who had that very good scoring run for England last season, relieving what had become heavy frustration for Ipswich here. Now Gates. And Mariner's off again against Gillespie. Mick Mills sprinting forward just inside him. And Roberts got back. Splendid piece of finishing. Francis looking here for Haitley. Butcher across with those long legs. Gary Thompson. Roberts. Thompson. Danny Thomas in the penalty area, but this is Francis. And now it's Jacobs. And Francis. And Hormanchuk. Osman's tackle. Francis. Thompson far side. Thomas. Burley for Ipswich. Thomas again. Still Danny Thomas. Oh, I say, what a shot and what a goal! That's a splendid goal by Danny Thomas. And what a change for him, having been sent off at Swansea the other night. The suspension not starting for 14 days, so he was free to play today. Running into space and shooting powerfully there, beyond the reach of Cooper. The goal coming just 3 minutes from the end. Certainly a due reward for Danny Thomas, who's been very much involved in this Coventry performance in defence, making a series of very important interceptions and blocks when Ipswich had all the play, and then coming out to score with a fine shot. That was Hormanchuk, and it came uncertainly off Butcher, but rather more certainly back by Burley. And that's something for Mariner to chase. Jacobs, the defender, doing enough, getting the foot in when and where it mattered. So Ipswich still looking for their first win after 3 games. Paul Mariner must have thought they were on the way when he put them ahead after 72 minutes. But 3 minutes from the end, 20-year-old Danny Thomas scoring with a splendid shot to earn Coventry a point, which will have pleased Dave Sexton, whose team have started the season well with an average age of under 23. And for Bobby Ferguson, who goes off now to watch Roma play this weekend, he'll be hoping Ipswich develop better finishing before they play in the UEFA Cup. Ipswich Town 1, Coventry City 1.
Well, yet again, Ipswich lose the lead and the points, but their general play and approach seems to be as sophisticated as ever. But let's hear what Captain Mick Mills and his opposite number, Jerry Francis, thought about things. They're talking to John Watson.
Well, it's nice to be able to talk to 2 England captains. Let's have your view first, Jerry, on the game, because you were the side that saved it with just 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, you know, we're a very young side, well, nearly, anyway. And we tend to sort of, we're a good side, but we tend to need to believe in ourselves a little bit. I think we're just about getting there. But, you know, we fought well, defended well, and we sort of sneaked an equaliser late on. Good goal, very good goal.
But one which took you, making Ipswich, somewhat by surprise.
Yes, a little bit. We haven't really started too well as far as points are concerned, but it's strange that we've been in front in 3 matches now. So it's obvious, as far as we're concerned, what we've got to do to put our game right. We've got to learn how to hold on to a very good position.
Well, the biggest headlines in football today are sadly the sort the game could do without. And 9 days into the new season, sendings off in the Football League are up 5-fold, 15 compared with only 3 a year ago. 8 players were sent off yesterday, and this was the reaction today of League Secretary Graham Kelly. It's too early to judge, but the sendings off total does concern me because it becomes such a damning statistic on the game. At least 7 of this season's dismissals have come under the professional foul category, and at this rate, last season's record of 132 players sent off in the league will be easily surpassed. You may remember what FIFA referee Clive Thomas said only 2 weeks ago when we suggested to him that sendings off would rise dramatically.
I should say no. In my heart, I think, I have to say, that I would think there'll be an increase. I hope to God there won't be. I hope players, managers and coaches will see that referees are trying to help the game. That's what we're doing. There are too many millions of people leaving our game. We want to bring them back. And we're doing a job which I think the players at the end of the day will respect. I hope very much, and I plead in a sense, to players and managers and coaches alike, accept these decisions, accept the new implementations that we're going to employ in the game, and help us. We need help. But on the other hand, referees, for goodness sakes, use common sense.
Really, common sense must prevail because a look at the sendings off since the war shows quite clearly how the image of the game is being tarnished. Perhaps the most startling point, in just 9 days this season, 15 players have been ordered off, while the figure for the whole of the first season after the war was only 12. There's a strong reaction this afternoon from PFA Secretary Gordon Taylor, who warns that the crackdown could drive crowds away rather than bring them back. When it was first suggested, I was afraid it would be like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. You could get matches ending with 8 players against 9 or teams being unevenly matched because of suspensions. Taylor has also promised a campaign to lift the crackdown if large numbers of players are dismissed in the next few weeks. He said, "We are already out of step with the rest of the world and foreign referees would be amazed if they saw what was going on here." One player who went off for a different reason yesterday was Manchester City's Joe Corrigan. The England keeper dislocated his left shoulder and tore ligaments in the opening minutes of the 1-0 win against Watford. Today's news, Joe has been discharged from hospital and will not require surgery, but his shoulder will be in a sling for over 3 weeks, and that means at least 6 weeks out of action. It's a real blow to City, who have the only 100% record in the First Division. On Tuesday they go to Notts County, where Corrigan's replacement will be Alex Williams. One other important meeting also scheduled for tomorrow takes place at Middlesbrough, where manager Bobby Murdoch sees chairman George Kitching. Borough, just relegated from Division 1, have begun badly with 2 defeats. Manchester United could soon have another new face in what is already a formidable squad. Swedish international keeper Jan Moller, formerly with Malmo and Bristol City, could be signed from Toronto Blizzard. Sunday football is back, and there's one result from the Third Division: Millwall 0, Cardiff City 4. Well, in Scotland it was the first day of their league programme, and nowhere was there greater interest than at Motherwell, newly promoted to the Premier Division, and with their new manager Jock Wallace coming face to face with one of his former clubs, Rangers.
Carson missing out altogether. Well, there's a good ball. John McDonald is onside. Feels for a penalty. It is. Penalty kick, much to the astonishment of Alec Forsyth. So, 7 minutes gone, and perhaps Rangers' first goal will be scored by a Swede. It is. Robert Prince. Redford, good skill that time. Cooper judged it well. Wants a touch. Oh, this is brilliant by Cooper. Redford, great goal. Forsyth. Look at that swirl in that. There's a chance, surely. It is. It's not offside. It was neatly taken. Gagan. That's a good ball. It's there. It's the equaliser.
That's a really marvellous comeback by Motherwell, and one typifying Jock Wallace's philosophy and spirit. All in all, it was a most memorable day for one of football's characters, back in his native Scotland, and what a welcome they gave him.
And an affectionate return for the man who won so much for Rangers. And he is acknowledging the huge Rangers support that's attended today. And that must be an almost unprecedented sight of a manager coming out and getting that reception from opposing supporters.
Jock, there was an incredible scene today when you went out 5 minutes before kick-off, and both sets of supporters, both Motherwell and Rangers, gave you a very affectionate and warm reception. How did you feel about that?
I was quite choked at that particular thing. I've always worked hard for fans and punters, and it just epitomised a lot of hard work I've put in over the years, and I appreciate it very much. I was pretty choked, actually.
Well, you choked when you were 2-0 down. The game looked dead and gone then.
I was spewing all over the park, but all of a sudden we've came back from the dead and didn't turn at me. And it just shows you that the fitness training's coming off now, and their attitude was right. They didn't play, I thought, awful well, but their attitude was right, and they were nervous against the Rangers.
Were you worried that there might be a total anti-climax? Because there has been a lot of publicity about this game. You, manager, John Gregg, manager, the personal confrontation.
No, I don't think like that. I never even thought that we would get beat, so how could I think of the other way, you know? We never gave in to get beaten, you know. We just kept playing, and we didn't turn, and we got a turn. And I would think that they'll have a good night tonight because they're quite proud of their fight back, and it's a good return as far as I'm concerned to the Premier League.
I mean, it gives you a boost to your morale apart from everything else, doesn't it?
Well, I bent their ears a few times for losing that second goal when we didn't deserve to. But I would think it was a morale booster for the boys and the fans because we now know what we have to do. That team of Rangers will go far in the Premier League, so we've met them and matched them, came back from the dead. I think they've got a chance to feel good for themselves tonight.
Does it give you the impression that you can survive in the Premier Division?
Actually, I think it's too early for that. But on attitude and work and fitness and wanting to survive, then I think we've a chance. We've just got to learn them and teach them how to play a wee bit more sophisticated level, with a bit more poise, and I think we have a chance.
And you can tell me with your hand in your heart that you didn't object to 2 goals being knocked in against the old favourite team of yours.
Wish it had been 4.
Well, the skill spot coming up now. And first we look at the kind of spontaneous passing that's the foundation of Liverpool's success. This one started from a corner. Sammy Lee whacks it over there, and Lee Chapman, you'll see, thinks he's cleared it. He gets it fairly well out, but Liverpool keep up the pressure, and they do it with 3 first-time skills. The first, Alan Kennedy, doesn't hold it. He could have done. He flicks it to Souness. Souness shapes himself and guides it beautifully off the outside of his foot to match up with Kennedy's run for a first-time volley which just cleared the crossbar. First-time football from Liverpool. Now let's look at the defensive skill, and this is one of Mark Lawrenson. He wins his way to the ball and could be excused there perhaps for playing it safe, because if he lost it would be dangerous. But good players like to find space. The way to find it is to beat one man, then another as he comes flying in, and he's in space all right there. And it was that move, without another Arsenal player touching the ball, that actually led to Liverpool's first goal. And lastly, shooting skill, one we were a little bit criticised for in the World Cup, but Russell Osman shows that it doesn't matter how far out you are, and you can see somewhere near his own centre circle there, if you hit it right, you can still make the goalkeeper save. And Les Sealy's glad to get his hand up to that one. But the shot of the afternoon was from young Danny Thomas, and it's interesting to note perhaps why it came about. Thompson wins the ball there, and Thomas goes looking for Roberts on the left wing, doesn't find him. Maybe a little bit of annoyance there that his header didn't get to his target, but it created a surge to go past the opponent and let fly from then on. And you'll notice that the only time that ball was inside the post was when it finally entered the goal. What a way to win or to earn a point in a game of football. Well, I mentioned dreams at the start of the programme, and Danny Thomas, like all football daft young lads, had his dreams, and some fulfilment came yesterday. But in 1979, when Danny was 17, his lifestyle was reflected in the magazine Scoop, part fact, part fiction, but hopefully inspirational to all those with similar ambitions. This could happen to you.
Francis. Thompson far side. Thomas. Burley for Ipswich. Thomas again. Still Danny Thomas. Oh, I say, what a shot and what a goal! That's a splendid goal by Danny Thomas.
Well, that's it for this week. Early days yet, but football never fails to provide talking points. Liverpool, of course, are up there as usual, but with Manchester City above them and the European champions Aston Villa without a point, maybe we're in for a season of surprises. Well, we shall see. Good afternoon.